Thank you for tuning in. I'm just waiting for people to come in if you're watching on the replay, so I can see if anyone's in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just juggling both of my cameras at the moment because I am streaming on both Instagram and YouTube for the Meditation for Beginners workshop, which is what I'm going to be with you for the next hour doing. So on the Instagram side, hello, thank you everyone tuning in. It says 35 people tuning in, that's amazing. I'm also on the YouTube side, so hello everyone, thank you for tuning in again for another workshop. I hope that you'll be able to stick around and find this very useful, especially if you are a beginner to meditation, never meditated before, or even if you are an expert at meditation, maybe there's something else you could take from what I'm going to share in this workshop. Before we begin, just want to quickly say, for those of you who are interested and have put in requests for more YouTube videos, I have just recently uploaded my most recent YouTube video where I talk about the one thing that will make you a manifestation master. There's one thing that will allow you to manifest and master the law of assumption. And I speak about that in my most recent video. So if you would like to check that out, please do check the video on Danny Conscious Living on my YouTube channel. I've had quite a few requests for videos on the law of attraction, the law of assumption, and manifesting. So if you are interested, please do check out my YouTube channel, and please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you resonate with my content, it helps support me to be able to keep doing what I'm doing, helps support the channel, and helps for you to see the videos, because I get so many video requests and topics of videos to be made, and I would like to let you know that I've made them. And unfortunately, I can't always, the content doesn't get given out on Instagram, so this is one of my ways to let you know that it has been done. I'm taking requests and I'm fulfilling your requests of video topics. So please do check that out. Right, but with that being said, we will begin. I'm just going to say what I usually do in the workshops. Any questions, if you could just save to the end, or just pop them at the bottom right hand side of the screen. There's a speech bubble with a question mark. You pop your question in there. I'll see it at the very end. The topic is meditation for beginners. So I'm just going to speak about meditation, how you can adopt that and make it a really powerful practice. And we will begin. So meditation, I'm sure a lot of you who are tuned in know what meditation is. Probably practice it yourself. Some may be beginners, some may be very advanced with meditation, or some may have heard about it and are thinking of trying it. Now, meditation is a very powerful practice, and it is the key root practice, in my view, of connecting with our inner self, our true self, becoming more self-aware and conscious, because meditation allows us to quiet the mind, find that inner stillness inside. And the benefits of meditation itself are so vast, and there's so many studies that have been done that shows how much benefits you can get just from meditating, from improved cognitive functions, immune system boost, reduction of stress, depression, anxiety, boosting of health, balancing both hemispheres of the brain, boosting intuition, and then you've got the more spiritual, metaphysical benefits, raising your vibration, expanding your consciousness, becoming more aware of who you really are and how you can bring your manifestations to life much more powerfully. But a lot of people say to me, Danny, I don't know how to meditate. Or if I say to them, do you meditate? They say, oh no, I can't meditate. And I say, why is that? Oh, I can't still my mind. I can't relax. I don't really know what to do. It doesn't work for me. But that's one of the biggest misunderstandings, in my view, of meditation. A lot of people are put off of meditating because they think that they can't still their mind. They think that they have to have zero thoughts, be like one of these monks in a temple, zero thoughts, just complete awareness and not be distracted by anything. If you can do that, that's wonderful. But the point of meditation is to observe your thoughts and not become them. It's to have peace with mind rather than peace without mind. So to be the observer. When thoughts come up, because they will inevitably come up, Just observe them and don't attach to them. It gives you a chance to take a step back and be what we would call the observer effect, the awareness behind those thoughts. So how to do that? When you meditate, you want to first of all make sure that you are in a position where you can relax your body. Now, the whole point of meditation can be many different things. Meditation, to me though, is a way where you can keep your focus in the present moment. Some people can meditate eyes closed in a seated position, focusing on the breath. Some people can meditate laying down, or some people can meditate with their eyes open. But I would also call doing any particular action where you're completely focused on what you are doing a type of meditation. So it doesn't just have to be the traditional way, but it really does help for you to have a very relaxed, comfortable body. Because when we go to meditate, we want to relax and we want to change our brainwave frequency to become much more relaxed and to quiet the mind. So we do want to quiet the mind. Even if we still have thoughts, that's okay, but we want to get a level of calmness and peace. Because then we are open to take on new levels of awareness. And of course, practice makes perfect. So when we do meditate, you want to get into a comfortable position and you want to have an anchor. Now, an anchor is a point of focus for you to keep your concentration on. So very commonly in meditation, an anchor is the breath. When we meditate, we focus on the breathing and we keep bringing our awareness back to our breath to keep us focused. So when you're relaxing, you feel the air going through your nose and out your nose. Do it again. And then out again. Because the breath is something we're always breathing and it's a natural thing. It's a natural place to keep putting our attention on. So you can relax, just keep focusing on your breath and make that your main point of concentration. And every time your mind begins to wander, or if you get a thought that distracts you, just keep getting your focus and putting it back to your breath. And each time you catch yourself thinking and bringing your attention back to your breath, you begin to retrain your mind and your point of focus. And wherever you place your attention is where you place your energy. So as you place your attention back on your breath or wherever your anchor will be, you are beginning to retrain the body and beginning to improve your concentration, your level of focus, and then your level of expansion begins. It's practice. Don't be put off if you have to keep catching yourself, because let me tell you, the mind is going to, at the very beginning, give you loads and loads of thoughts, because the mind is going to probably have a lot of resistance. You're probably going to think about what you're going to have to eat, what you want to drink, what you need to do, this, that, and the other. It's fine. And it's fine if sometimes it takes you a while to catch yourself and realize you're lost in your thoughts. It's the point that every time you do it, it's an improvement. It's practice, it's repetition. So your breath is one of the most common anchors that you can focus on. Another anchor you can focus on is your physical body. You can there's body scan meditation, for example, where as you relax, you get yourself in a comfortable position, whether it's lying down, sitting up, or whatever. But let's say you're sitting up and you have a straight back. It's important to keep your back straight if you can. And then focus on slowing down your breathing and focus on breathing through your nose and out through your mouth, the sensation. Quickly, just to say, the one reason why we slow the breathing down, it's very important, is because it helps your body to relax. If you think about your fight or flight system, if you begin to breathe much more calmly and fuller, you would do that when you're in a relaxed state. So that's a message to your brain that you are safe. So that helps to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps to turn off the fight or flight response, because if you're breathing very shallow, which a lot of us do, or have a lot of tense or shallow breathing, that's usually when we're in stress or fight or flight. And that's when we have the mind races and we have the stress hormones and we're too alert to relax. But if we slow down the breathing, it helps to send a different signal to the brain. So that's one of the reasons why we want to slow the breath. So as you're doing that, begin to feel your body. Begin to feel your body in the position that you are in. Put your attention on all parts of your body, on all your muscles, and all your limbs, and just focus on the awareness and the feeling of your body just sitting here. Feel if your arms or your legs may be heavy. Feel your back, the posture, your neck, your face. You might feel tension in your body, or you might feel relaxed. But using your body as your anchor is another powerful way to come back and keep putting your focus on your meditation. And if you couple that with feeling your breathing as well, is another very powerful practice. And another anchor, which is my personal favorite, is your heart. If you breathe into your heart center. Now, I don't know if the camera, I think the camera has me the other way around, if you get what I mean. I think my right hand will come across like it's my left hand, but this is where my heart is. So it's very powerful to use your heart center, your heart chakra, as an anchor. And now I speak about heart-brain meditation, heart coherence meditation a lot. If you keep putting your attention on your heart center, breathe into your heart, and have an elevated emotion like gratitude, compassion, love, and joy, that is very powerful and very healing. It's been shown that when we focus on our heart center with an elevated emotion, it changes our heart rhythm, which sends a different signal to the brain, which then turns on over 1,400 different chemical reactions that promote growth and repair, and we become much more in alignment and in a coherent state. We become more coherent, which means balance and order. And it's a very powerful practice to expand your intuition and to tune in to the energy around you, because your heart center is the bridge between this physical world and the energetic spiritual world. So you would simply place your focus on your heart center and imagine that you are breathing in into your heart and out from your heart. And keep doing that with an elevated emotion. So that's another powerful anchor. So with these in mind, what you would do is you get yourself into a comfortable position and then just take a few deep breaths. And then again. And then one more. Okay, and allow yourself to get into a steady rhythm with your breath. You can breathe slower and more deeply, but make sure it feels natural for you. And that very process alone, as I can feel it already, will begin to make you more quieter and still inside. Now, every time you do that, if you feel a thought come up, just let it go. If you have a thought, just bring your attention back to your breathing. And as you settle into that steady rhythm with your breath, begin to focus on the sensation of your body. Feel your body sitting or laying down or wherever you want to meditate. And maybe place your hand on your heart. And just breathe into that. And now, as you keep that steady rhythm of breathing, focusing on your body and your heart, just keep the practice of placing your attention there. And every time you get distracted by a physical sensation or by a thought, by an emotion or by any kind of noise externally around you, keep bringing your attention back to any of those places, your breath, your body, or your heart center. And then the more times that you can do that, you are literally training your brain. Our brains, if we've run on a lot of stress hormones for a lot of our lives, which a lot of us have, or have certain habit patterns that promote fear and stress, we actually train our bodies to become addicted to those chemicals. We become addicted to the chemicals of stress, like cortisol and adrenaline. They are very, very addictive. So if we look for things to worry about for our body to have its chemical fix, and we want to change that. We want to get addicted to the feel-good chemicals. So just think that every time that you catch yourself and you bring yourself back to one of these anchor points, you are retraining your mind. You're telling your mind and telling your body, no, you are in charge here. I am in charge here. This is where I'm placing my attention and my energy. and it will get easier. The practice makes perfect. With the repetition, as I've spoken about before, the more times you repeat something, the more easy it will become, the more it will become clued into your subconscious mind, so it will become automatic. You will begin to disidentify with your thoughts even more, and then you will begin to expand your energy even further, and your consciousness will begin to expand. So those are the very basics to just focus on when you're meditating. Get yourself into a comfortable place where you can relax, and allow yourself some time where you don't feel you need to rush your meditation. Because that's another thing. Another question I get asked is, how long do I meditate for? And to be honest, any time you can meditate is better than none at all. You will, if you researched it yourself, you will find that on average, a lot of people tend to say about 20 minutes a day is good enough. Then some people will say, well, I want to allow about an hour because I want to relax into the meditation. Or if you've only got 5 minutes is still good. So really the true answer is however long that you are able to meditate, as long as you can. So whatever time you can fit it in is better than none at all. However, what would be more beneficial is to meditate when you know that you have got a good amount of time where you won't need to rush. Because sometimes, and I've done this a lot, and I know a lot of people who have done it as well, a lot of meditation experts, in their journey of mastering meditation, they find that if they go to meditate and they feel that they're kind of trying to fit it in, their mind is too busy thinking about all the things that they want to do, and they forget the art and the being of being in a moment to meditate. So it's better to meditate when you do have some time to allow yourself to relax. Even if it is just 5 minutes, dedicate that 5 minutes to not think about your to-do list. But if you can meditate at least 20 minutes a day, then that is a good enough amount to see significant benefits very quickly if you are consistent. But if you can do longer than that, that's but wonderful as well. But my point being, do it when you have time where you won't be clock watching. There's some wonderful apps that you can download where it gives you like a timer, where you can set a time for when your meditation, if you want to set an amount of time for when your meditation ends, so you don't need to think about the time, or you can just go with it and just meditate for how long you feel you need. But as long as you do get some meditation practice in and allow yourself time to relax into it, that's the main thing. Some other practices that can help with meditation, you can also listen to music. That can help with meditation, especially if you listen to very powerful frequency music. Meditation can help you, music with meditation can help you to relax. Or some people might prefer stillness. I like both. I like listening to music sometimes, but most of the time I like the stillness because it helps me to focus more inside. So it depends on what your preference is. Another part of meditating is you can light candles or incense. Anything to help get you into that mood where you can relax. Incense is a wonderful accompaniment for meditating. Creating a meditation space or a sacred space, a place where you can relax and just get into that feeling state and open up your mind and your level of awareness. Those will all really help enhance your meditation practice. And really and truthfully, it's just being open to practicing your meditation and realizing that when a thought comes up, bring your attention back to an awareness, and that's pretty much all you need to do. Sounds easy. It can be challenging to begin with, and you will have some meditations that you feel will be better than others. You may have some very active meditations, and active meditations, I mean meditations where you keep having thoughts and you keep having to clear your thoughts, and you have to keep bringing yourself back to your anchor. And then once your meditation is finished, you might feel that you've not had any point of focus at all. You might feel that you've had to keep bringing your awareness back to each moment. If that's the case, that's still okay, because it's always the act of catching yourself and bringing your attention back to the present moment. That is the thing you're mastering. and that alone will have the benefits. So the fact that you keep doing that is good. And excuse me, also sometimes it's very common when we meditate that things come up to the surface for releasing. It's very common that when we meditate, if we are going through a process of releasing emotions and our intuition is expanding, we can get messages from our higher self, our subconscious mind, and our inner child can reveal messages to us, and we can bring things up to the surface. And if that happens, that is good, as long as we don't identify with it. And every time the thought or feeling comes up, you observe it and keep bringing your attention back to one of your anchors, whether that's the breath, your body, or your heart center. So I hope that some of these tips are helping for those who are looking to meditate, or who already do meditate but maybe want to expand a bit more their knowledge on the process of that. But what will happen eventually, the more you begin to practice meditation and make it a daily thing, because we ideally want to do it daily, is the benefits you can receive are just wonderful. And it's the number one expansion of your consciousness and raising your vibration, because it helps you on all levels. And then when you meditate, of course, there's different types of meditations that you can do. There's meditation to just focus on being more present. All meditation essentially does the same thing, but there can be different intentions that we want to achieve from a meditation. For example, we might want to meditate to heal the inner child. We might want to meditate to clear our chakras. We might want to meditate to help us with manifestation. So it depends on what it is that you are wanting to get from your meditation practice. But the fundamentals are still the same. If you're meditating to clear your chakras, if you are meditating to connect with your inner child or practice forgiveness or gratitude, or if you're doing a meditation to help you visualize and manifest your goals, still have the process of focusing on the breath, focusing on your body, focusing on your heart center, and when the mind wanders, keep bringing your attention back to those anchors. But if you have an intention with it, bring your intention back as an anchor as well. So if, for example, if you are doing a visualization meditation to manifest your goals, you would take the image of what you want to manifest, you would focus that in your mind whilst relaxing your body and focusing on your breathing and your heart center with your visualization. And let that be the anchor. And as you are breathing into your heart space, you're becoming more coherent, you're aligning your energy, you're bringing in the vision and the intention of your manifestation. If you can couple that with an elevated emotion like gratitude in particular, because gratitude is the feeling of receivership, you are focusing on those feelings, and that's your anchor. Your anchor there is focusing on your intention and your manifestation with the feeling of gratitude like it's already happened, breathing into that more and more. And the more energy and attention you are putting on that, the more that will expand. And every time your mind wanders, you keep bringing your attention back to those anchors and to your intention, to your vision. So that's one way that you can manifest with meditation. So whatever, and that would be the same if you were clearing your chakras. If you're going through your chakras, you would do the same things. You would have a calm, comfortable breathing rhythm. You would have an anchor point, whether it's your breath or your body, something to keep bringing your attention back to. And then your point of focus would also be on your chakras. So that would be a focus point as well. Each chakra, as you go through a process of clearing the energy and unblocking any blockages that you have and cutting any cords, for example. And then those would be your focus points. And the same process would apply with the inner child and forgiveness and gratitude and whatever type of intention that you have with the meditation. So I do hope that those fundamentals help with that. I know with my own personal practice, I've been meditating for a while now, and it did take me a while to get into a rhythm with meditation, because it's surprisingly, meditation, it's simple to do in the fact that you just sit there and just don't really do much physically. But and we say we don't have time to meditate, but in actual fact, it's a very simple thing to do, but there's so much resistance in the mind that makes it seem like it's a chore at times or very difficult to do, even though it's probably one of the more easiest things to do, really. But it can be very, very hard because we have so much resistance to it, because we're so used to thinking we need to get everything done, rushing around, time management, stress, this, that, and the other. Whereas if we take a point of focus and allow ourselves some time to focus ourselves on a meditation, that's going to assist us on all the big to-do list that we think we need to do. Because when we meditate, it changes our brainwave state, it changes the way our brain functions, not just our brain, but our body, our mind, and our spirit. And when we do that, we become much more productive, and we're able to harmonize both hemispheres of the brain much better. It's the more stressed we are, the more chaotic things get. And the more stressed we are, the more resistance we have. And the more stressed we are, the less productive we are. So meditation is the answer to help with all of those things. But the mind will inevitably have a lot of resistance to meditation because it thinks, oh, you're wasting your time. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. The mind wants to think. It is literally like a hamster wheel. And because a lot of those thoughts generally do release a lot of stress chemicals or pressures of the I shoulds. I should be doing this, I should be doing that, or I should have done this, or should have done that by now, or how's this going to be, or that going to be. Those feelings, those thoughts generally do release a type of chemical that's very stressful, and of course our body becomes more addicted, so it's a cycle. So it's about overcoming this resistance that we have in thinking that we need to be stressed and need to be worried. But these are some basic fundamentals, what I've spoken about, and I do hope that they help. And another thing that you can do, now, if you are not drawn to do this, then you don't need to, because some people are really interested in meditation, but they don't really want to focus on some of more the metaphysical, spiritual aspects with other dimensions and energies. They just want to know how to be less stressed and meditate. They understand the physical benefits. That's as far as they want to go for now, and that's fine, because meditation can help you with all of those things. But what I will say is be mindful, because when you do meditate, you are opening yourself up to other vibrations and frequencies, because everything is energy and vibration and frequency, and there are multiple realities, dimensions, densities, whatever you want to call that. Quantum physics proves this. So whether you believe in it or resonate with it or not, I have to be honest, you have to be mindful that you are opening yourself up to other frequencies. So when you do that, it's important to make sure that you have a level of protection around you. So whenever I begin to meditate or connect, when I close my eyes, I just imagine white light around me, or I call down the Christ light to shine down around me, and call in my guardian angel and spirit guides and my higher self and any beings of love and light that are there to help guard and protect me. Then that way you keep yourself shielded and protected from any energies or frequencies that might not resonate for you. And that's all you need to do. And then when you've done your meditation, it's also important to ground yourself as well. Because when we meditate, we expand. If we really go into a deep meditation, there's several things at play. On the energy level, we can open as our brainwave state shifts. So typically when we meditate, we go from beta brainwave state, which is brainwave state that we would be in now when we're concentrating in everyday functions. Typically we then move into an alpha brainwave state into meditation, and then it can go even further to theta, to even like things like gamma. Brainwave states where we have a much faster vibration, and that opens up the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and we make a big shift in our brain and then in our body and in our frequency. So when we come out of the meditation, we need to readjust. So it's important to ground yourself. One way to ground yourself when you come out of your meditation is when you're ready to come out of your meditation, just gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Just get acquainted with the feeling of your body again. And you can also imagine roots, energetic roots coming out of your feet into the ground to help ground your energy and root yourself down. and it's important to have water. Make sure you have a glass of water at hand just to hydrate. And we take in water because water is a conductor of electricity, and we are electric magnetic energy beings. And we want the energy to be shifting, so we want plenty of water. In science, it's called bioelectricity. So it's really important with any kind of spiritual energetic work, plenty of water. And again, you can also call in your any kind of protection. You can visualize white light around you when you are coming out of your meditation, just to keep your energies protected as you ground yourself back into your everyday, into your everyday reality. But we want to kind of create a new reality, don't we? We want to raise our vibrations so that we've got a new reality. But as you're becoming more balanced back into your body, you want to keep your energy safe and protected, and that's another way that you can do that. So I do hope that for those who are tuning in and for those who may be watching on the replay, that these are some fundamentals that have been helpful. If anyone does have any questions, who is in the live chat currently, about what I've spoken about meditation, please do ask away. I'll be answering questions specifically for meditation for beginners. This isn't a general Q&A session. This is about a workshop on meditation and meditating for beginners. So those are the questions that we're going to focus on, if there are any. If you have any questions, please do say them. Don't worry if you think they're a silly question, because they won't be. No question's a silly question. And you may also be asking a question that other people in the live stream would be thinking. So whilst I'm just waiting for... There's no one tuned in at the moment on the YouTube side, because YouTube's still quite a new thing, so that's still building up. But there is people consistently joining on Instagram. So whilst I wait for any questions to come in, I'm just going to quickly scroll up the comments on Instagram to see if any questions have come in throughout me talking, and I'll answer them first. So... gosh, a lot of people have tuned in to this. Got 11 people in at the moment, but lots of people have been tuning in. As Ali, you came in, can I ask a question? Yes, taking questions now. So in the workshops, questions always come. We'll do a question session at the end. So if you have a question about meditation or anything like that, please do ask away. Ishagard199 says, changed me. I'm not sure what has changed you. Oh, very informative. Changed me. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for that. I can see your comment. You said during my speaking it was very informative and it's changed you. So I hope what I've said has changed, and for the good. Someone said, what's the topic? Meditation for beginners. It'll be in the title at the top of the screen as well. Oh, here was a question that was asked. What by _Vic Ashadav _ what to do while meditation when people are around and distracted place? So pretty simple, really. I mean, it's kind of what I focused on. Have your anchor points. So every time, so you can have distractions by thoughts in your own mind or emotions or feelings, or you can also be distracted, or you can have things that are going on around you that would act as distractions. Have your point of focus, have your anchor points. So if you choose if you have your body or your heart center or your breath, if you keep getting used to putting your attention on those things, then you will eventually build some natural resistance or barrier to distractions. The more you can focus on those things, every time a thought comes up, you will find it easier to just focus on the meditation. And if anything is going on around you and people are distracting you, the more you can focus on your breath or on the anchor point, you kind of zone them out. Have you ever done that before? A lot of people zone out, not intentionally, but if they're watching something on TV or they're watching something on social media or whatever it is, they're focusing on one particular thing. And if you try and talk to someone, they just don't hear you because they're completely zoned in. That's what we want to do with a meditation. Zone into our meditation. So the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and anything around us does not distract us from our purpose of meditation. So just practicing those anchors. Find something that feels comfortable for you to just keep putting your attention back on and expand that. Might be a bit tricky at first, but the more you do it, the easier it will be. Julie Villains. Hey Julie, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. I'm very well, thank you. Hope you are. Hey Katie, Katie.Katie.1. Hello, thank you for tuning in again. Yazzie9027. Hello there. Nate now underscore Haley. How many minutes should we meditate daily? So again, like I said in the workshop, it doesn't really matter as long as you meditate consistently. Some people will say, I meditate on average 20 minutes a day, and you will see very significant results. If you've only got 5 or 10 minutes, do that. If you have an hour, that's even better because you've got a time to relax. But the main thing that I will say again, what I said earlier, is allow yourself enough time for you to relax into your meditation, because you don't really want to go to meditate with a limited amount of time and you've got all this busy schedule and you're thinking too much about what you're going to do next. Some people only meditate when they know they've got some free time to allow themselves to get into that place, because if they keep thinking about what their to-do list is like, it will distract them completely. But I will say, meditate as long as you are able to. Something's better than nothing. But if you do have freedom of choice, then 20 minutes to half an hour is a good amount. That's the amount that I try and aim for. If I know I do have some things to do, then at least I know, okay, if there's 20 minutes or there's half an hour, I'm just going to focus. And if my mind wanders, keep bringing it back to one of my anchor points, whatever that will be. For anyone who's just joined, this is a workshop on meditation for beginners. So I have done I've gone over the basic principles of meditation. This is the Q&A section. But if you have tuned in and missed part of the live, don't worry. The workshop replay will be available on my YouTube channel. I explained this in the last workshop. If anyone's tuned in and wasn't in the last workshop and didn't know this, I'm not able to upload my replays of my workshops to Instagram for some reason at the moment. So they are all going to be uploaded on my YouTube channel. I'm currently streaming on both Instagram and YouTube. So all the workshops and Q&As, live stream replays are available in full on my YouTube. And for anyone who's tuned in or is new to the my channel on Instagram, I also do have a YouTube channel, and if you would like to see more videos from me, please do check out my YouTube page. I get so many requests to do videos, and I've got a list of the requests and I'm doing each one by one. But I'm not able to reach everyone on Instagram to let people know, because the algorithm doesn't push my content out to everyone. So if you are one of those that have made a request for videos, I am fulfilling them. If you check me out on Danny Conscious Living, that'd be wonderful. And if you would consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate that as well. And if you have any requests yourself of any topics you'd like me to make a video on, then please do let me know. I have been taking requests. I have a list. So I've had requests already and I'm fulfilling them. The latest video that has been uploaded, which was about an hour or so ago, is the secret key for you to become a manifestation master. How to master the law of assumptions. That's just been uploaded. So please do check that out. Any questions on the YouTube side? None at the moment. And also, if anyone is interested in working with me on a one-to-one basis, or to help with practicing and meditation practices, or releasing any trauma from your past, rechanging your subconscious programming so that you can let go of this fear and trauma you may have had, so you can begin manifesting, connecting with who you really are, I do offer one-to-one coaching programs. I have a couple of programs at the moment that have some special discounts, and I do offer a free 20-minute discovery call where we can talk about what it is that you would like to work on. That link, the link for that page can be found in my Instagram bio. If you click that link, you can book a date and a time for the free 20 minutes where we can talk about what it is that you feel that you would like to work on, and we can see if we can come up with a plan for you, and if it resonates and it feels comfortable to go ahead, then we'll go ahead and work together. The coaching programs, there's a 2-session package for those who just want to begin and learn some techniques that they can learn by themselves, or there's also a longer term 12-week, 12-session program where you work with me every week on a one-to-one basis, We get you into the position where you can begin to let go of the trauma from your past and manifest your dreams. So if that sounds appealing, please do check out the link. And do we have any further questions about meditation? Meditation for beginners. This is the second meditation for beginners workshop that I've done. The first one was very successful. A lot of wonderful feedback from that, a lot of questions and requests for some more, and requests for from some people who wasn't able to make the last one. So I hope that this one has been helpful and some of you have been able to tune into the live. If not, you can check out the replay. Quite quiet on the question front today. The last few times there's been quite a few questions, so I will stay on for another 5 minutes or so. If there's no questions, then we'll end the workshop. But I do have some time available for any questions about the meditation or the meditation practices. So if we do have any questions, please do ask. If not, then we'll sign off. Right. Here we go. It's a question. Okay. I was amazing and cool kind of guy who used to live happy, but after entering spiritual journey, I started facing trauma and depression. Why so? Well, so when we start the spiritual journey, it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. And by that I mean, when we start the spiritual journey, I say we begin to wake up. We have like an awakening that we are not just a physical body. We are not our thoughts. We are not our feelings. But as we become aware of things and begin to elevate ourselves, we have to clear a lot of we usually find there's lots of soul searching. So the trauma that you are referring to would be any emotion or any trauma that you've experienced that has been kept in your subconscious mind or stored in your energy field that you've held on to, even from as far as childhood, is coming up what we would call releasing. So typically when we awaken and we raise our vibration and we become more spiritual, we do things like what's called dark night of the soul, go through what's known as shadow work, where we basically have to clear. Remember, everything is energy and frequency. Okay, so when we enter the spiritual journey, we realize that everything is energy and frequency, not just physical matter. All physical matter is energy and frequency at a much denser energy vibration, but it's still energy nonetheless. So when we go through that awareness and we raise our vibration, what will happen is anything that we are holding on to that is of a lower vibration, which would be anything related to fear, emotional trauma, will come to the surface and we begin to change. And you will potentially have memories, emotions, and thoughts linked to those experiences that are coming up to your level of awareness. Now, the reason why it's coming up is because it's coming up to be released, which is what we want. But what a lot of people find is if they're not aware of that or not aware of what's happening, they will push it back down. Because unfortunately, we're in the habit of suppressing anything that doesn't feel comfortable. Whether it's grief, whether it's fear, anger, or anything like that, anything that doesn't feel comfortable, we kind of run away and shield from and push it back down. We don't release it, we don't process it. And if we don't release it and don't process it, it causes problems. For example, when we are younger, our inner child, if you had something that was very traumatic, maybe abandonment issues or feelings of not being good enough or any emotional trauma, in the first 7 years of our life, we are in what's called the theta brainwave state, which is actually the brainwave state of hypnosis, which means that we don't have any of the logical or analytical filters that we have as adults to filter things out and determine things, logic things away. We are literally being hypnotized. We are taking in everything as it comes. We're downloading. So our core belief system, whether that's a belief system that we have that tells us that we're not good enough or we are good enough, or that we're not desirable, or we seem to be an overachiever because we've had the programs put into us at an early age that we can be successful, or maybe we've had abuse and that we're not good enough and we can't seem to shift those beliefs. We can hold trauma from our childhood. So When we start this journey of finding ourselves, we're on the journey, the spiritual journey, becoming who we really are, recognizing ourselves. By doing that, we take a different perspective, and we anything that needs to come up will come up, and it's what we call typically dark night of the soul or shadow work, which is a term that was used to refer to looking at the parts of ourselves that we feel most uncomfortable. But the issue that a lot of people have, if they're not aware of what they're doing, is that when this stuff comes up, they re-identify with it and make it worse, whereas the whole point is to release it. Now, this is what I work a lot with clients about, what my coaching program's about. It focuses on looking at those. You first of all look at the areas of your life that aren't working well. If you want to know what to change, look at the areas of the life that you're struggling with, whether it's certain habits, certain things that aren't functioning, your health, your relationships, whatever. And then we look and see what those beliefs you have about those things are. And you'll find that you'll probably have some limiting beliefs about those particular things, and it'll be rooted back to experiences that you've had in your past. So we want to begin to change your core belief system, and there's several techniques that we can do to help clear that. So you want to adopt certain practices, and something like meditation is a very powerful technique that will help with that. So it's more than likely that you're going through a process of clearing, which a lot of us are going through right now. And also another thing to always factor in is the inner child, because the inner child is that part of us that's had all that trauma, that's had all that abuse, and it's within our subconscious mind. And our inner child influences us something chronic. Our inner child is still focusing on the trauma that we had when we were younger. And a lot of the times it will kind of act up in a way, because if we've still got that abuse, the feeling of abandonment, or this fear or insecurity, that can lead to fears of rejection, anger, jealousy. It can lead us to addictive behaviors. In my studies of EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, which is when we tap on certain parts of the body to help release the negative emotions from the mind and from our energy field, it teaches that addiction is actually a form of finding a way to tranquilize anxiety. So when we are addicted to something, we are actually looking for something to neutralize anxiety. So if you're going through a spiritual awakening process, it's a wonderful progression in your soul's evolution, but it's not necessarily easy. And I think anyone especially anyone's an empath, who's been on this journey for a long time, will tell you it is a soul exploring journey of ups and downs, but it's all good. But you have to transcend these negative, what we would call negative feelings or limiting beliefs that we have held on to, because they need to be released. So that's what I would say is what you're going through. Obviously, I don't know the details. But again, this is something that I do help with clients, and have helped with clients in my coaching program. So if this is something that you think you might be interested or might help, please do book the free call and we can discuss it there. But if not, I hope what I've said has been helpful to you and to anyone else who's listening on there. What's this next question? Mary Alikau, that's how you say the name. Hello there, thank you for tuning in. Hoping to get my mind to stop giving me worst case scenario for everything that comes my way. Is this possible? Yes, it is possible. It's just simply retraining your mind. What you're saying sounds a bit like if you're getting intrusive thoughts, which is the big learning curve that I've had. Intrusive thoughts, and like with OCD, for example, what I have learned, and I've coupled it with an affirmation, is every time if I get a thought that is the worst case scenario, I remind myself that it's not real, because your thoughts are not real. Okay? Think of it this way. Your mind is like a supercomputer, and you cannot control all thoughts of your mind, which is one of the key things I was saying in the beginning of this workshop with meditation. Meditation is not about having zero thoughts. If you can achieve that from years and years of perfecting meditation, that's wonderful, but it shouldn't be your number one goal, especially when beginning, because it's just not possible. The more you try to stop thinking, the more you will have thoughts. What resists persists. The point of meditation is to be at peace with your thoughts. When a thought comes up, you observe it but don't attach to it, you let it go. Like if you were laying on the grass and you were looking at the sky and there's the blue sky and then there's a load of clouds that come along. Think of your thoughts as the clouds. Just let the clouds go by. Now, when you meditate, you want to focus on your anchor point, and every time a thought comes in, you take your attention away from that thought back to your anchor point, whether that's your heart center or the breath. Now, you can do the same thing even when you're not meditating with your everyday thoughts, when intrusive worst case scenario thoughts come in. Think of it this way. When an intrusive thought comes in, and it's the worst case scenario, it is not true. First of all, look and think of how many intrusive thoughts you've had with worst case scenarios and count how many times have they actually happened. They would not have happened. And even if anything like them did happen, it wouldn't have happened in the way that your mind has created. So that's a logical way to look at it. The other approach is that you are not tuning into any divine spiritual guidance from your higher self when you have these worst case scenario thoughts. So you are not getting spiritual guidance. Because if you are getting spiritual guidance that was genuine, that was true, that was in alignment and of a higher vibration linked with your higher self, then it would feel good. Because remember, everything is energy and frequency, including thoughts. We just need to get used to thinking in terms of energy and frequency. We're so used to having a single thought and identifying with it and thinking that's the fact and that's true. It's not. So every time an imaginary scenario comes in your mind and you react and it doesn't feel good, tell yourself that because you're feeling bad, it's not true. Because you have not picked up divine guidance from your spirit guides, from your angels, from the universe, or from your higher self, because you would feel good. It's also not true in your reality, because reality is only in the present moment. This moment is the only reality right now. And the point of power, of creativity, is always in this moment. So the vibration that you and me are giving out right now is creating our future. And that is by our thoughts and our feelings, and them together make the base vibration that we are putting out. So when these intrusive thoughts come up, observe them and realize that you are not those thoughts and they are not true. And say this affirmation every time a thought comes up. I am willing to release the patterns and conditions in me that created this condition and fear. I am willing to release the patterns and programs in me that has created this condition and fear. I am willing to release this fear. So if an intrusive thought comes in, worst case scenario, acknowledge it and realize that it's not true, it's not divine guidance, because it doesn't feel good. That's a good barometer, if that's the right word. A good way to find out if something's true for you or not is how does it feel? Because if everything's energy, there's two scales to everything. Negative, positive, polar, the opposite attracts, left and right and all that. So if you think energy is all neutral and all the same, but there's what's vibration, what's in alignment, what's out of alignment. So generally speaking, when we feel negative emotions like fear, anger, jealousy, insecurity, and any kind of stress, that will be an energy that doesn't feel good because it's out of alignment with how our higher self sees reality, with the truth. Because what is the truth will always feel good. If you think of the emotional scale, emotional frequency scale, emotions like shame, grief, guilt, fear, anger, they are a lower vibration. But elevated emotions like love, joy, compassion, gratitude, creativity, things like that are much higher because they are much more in alignment with your true nature. If something feels good, then that's your sign that that's the truth and that's the direction to take. If something doesn't feel good, it's not real. So I do hope that these are the processes, techniques, and ways that I've had to adopt to do with my own thoughts, because my big learning curve has been anxiety. It's been the intrusive thoughts. And that is actually what triggered my awakening back when I was 15. So, those are the things that I've learned and adopt, and I hope they'll help you and anyone else as well. Um, Aaron Malloy, one, hey brother, hope you're doing well. Came in right as you said meditate. How funny is that? Meditation is the best practice that everyone must do. Absolutely. I love that you came in when I said the word meditate. That's awesome. I hope you're doing well, brother. Mary Alicia W. It makes me panic. Was that in relation to the intrusive thoughts? I'm just catching up on some of the comments on the Instagram side. No comments I can see yet on the YouTube side. That's fine. For anyone who's just tuning in, I've got 2 cameras on at the moment. I'm streaming on YouTube and on Instagram. So I'm just monitoring both cameras here. Mary, yes. So worst case scenario, I thought they are it can be very scary. It can be very scary, but when we don't identify with those thoughts, we realize we are not them. And what I found was more difficult is, if you get intrusive thoughts, especially those who may have OCD, it's very common to try and think of when you get an intrusive thought, you want to kind of do like a ritual to kind of cancel it out, or avoid thinking about something, or have that thought, don't want, and you get all like that. That is by far the worst thing to do, because it just creates more resistance. It certainly did for me. So that's why meditation will be such a powerful tool, because it helps you to become the observer, bring in what's known as the observer effect. You are the witness to the thoughts, but you don't become them, which is why I like to use the analogy of the clear blue sky and the clouds going past. When the clouds go past, you let them go, just come by and just go. That's the same with your thoughts. And it's a very powerful practice to actually acknowledge what your thoughts are. For example, if you have this thought, say the affirmation that I mentioned: I'm willing to release the patterns and programs in me that created this condition and fear. You can say that because you're changing the program. But also, what's really powerful and a positive approach is that when a thought comes in, acknowledge it. Just say, I'm aware of this thought, I'm aware of this fear. The idea is we don't want to resist what we are feeling, because what resists does persist. It makes it so much more difficult and challenging. It doesn't have to be. If anyone's familiar with Dr. David Hawkins, who has the emotional frequency scale, wonderful work. He speaks about certain emotions like grief, for example. Now, the feeling of an emotion of grief would naturally, those kind of feelings only have a very short shelf life. On their own, they won't last that long. If we were able to just accept in that moment when we're feeling grief or whatever emotion that it is, let it out and let it go through its process without pushing it back down. Because he says grief by itself would go in about 20 minutes. But when you have grief within you and you suppress it down, that's what makes it go on for years and years and years. It's when we press the emotions down and we don't acknowledge it, that's where it becomes problematic, and it gets stored in our body and our energy bodies. And that's not just the same with grief, that's with any kind of stress or experiences that we've had. So back to the question earlier, that when someone asked, I've started my spiritual journey and I've had these emotions and these feelings where I feel more depressed now and not quite happy or anything like that. Well, it's because we do have these push down feelings and emotions. And if you think in society, it's especially in the West, I'll stop crying, or there's these thoughts, beliefs that we're programmed when we're younger boys: don't cry, or don't cry, or carry on. Mustn't be weak or anything like that. But we're not allowed to process those strong emotions and feelings, and it doesn't go away. It's all energy and frequency. And as we begin to elevate, we have to clear all that, which is where the inner child healing comes in, and everything like that. Did a comment just come in on YouTube, but I don't know where the chat's gone. The message is gone. So I'm just trying to find. There we go. Was scrolling and came across this. I want to ask. Oh, where's the comment? Bear with me. I'm just getting used to finding where the comments are on YouTube. Was scrolling and came across this. I want to ask that if I'm getting urges of watching explicit content and I want to leave such things, how can I overcome? I want to scroll and come across it. I want to ask if I'm getting urges of watching explicit content and I want to leave such things, how can I overcome such thoughts? Well, I would answer that the same with any kind of thoughts. So basically, it's a bit like, so let's just, the nearest thing I can talk about is like addiction. So let's say if we have certain things that we want to do, it doesn't matter what it is, it's something that we recognize that we're doing repetitively, and we recognize that there might not be some benefit to that for us, or we're starting to have a kind of repercussions from that doesn't serve us for our highest and best, so we want to stop that. It's practicing, first of all, because earlier I spoke about how the chemicals of stress, for example, are very addictive. Now, we take on certain habits that, if they are kind of like our addiction, they are it's our way of neutralizing stress and anxiety. So those kind of habits, or any other kind of habits, are very much often linked to stress that we are holding on to. Because what happens is when we take on some kind of stress or have some kind of emotional trauma, we remember that because the subconscious mind finds it much easier to store anything that has an emotional reaction. And this is how core beliefs and habit patterns are formulated. And then sometimes it leads us to do certain habits to nullify the anxiety or the stress or the trauma. But if we are now, and we may have done this for a period of years, if we now recognizing that there's some habits that we want to change, now that's good. So the fact that you want to change a habit, it doesn't matter what it is, it's the fact that you are recognizing something within you that doesn't resonate with you anymore, because you wouldn't be asking the question and you wouldn't be acknowledging it. The fact that you're acknowledging it is a very good sign, because you are becoming aware. You're becoming aware of part of you that's not resonating with that, because the bigger problem would be if we were doing these behaviors and not realizing that there is a problem, or if we were doing these things to ourselves that have negative consequences and doing it unconsciously. But the fact that we're now starting to be aware of, okay, I'm doing this, or I'm having these thoughts, or I'm doing these actions, having these feelings, I want to stop because I recognize that it's not serving me in some way. Now that's good. Now, how you stop that, it depends on what the issue is, and it depends on the root cause of why you're doing it. So what I would say to yourself is ask yourself, why am I doing this? Do you want to know one simple technique that you can ask yourself, any habit that you want to change, or if you're not sure why you do something, or if you're not sure why you think something a certain way or feel something, one of the most simplest things that you can do to find that answer is ask yourself, why is that? So one of the techniques that I do in my coaching programs early on is, some clients will come to me because they have certain habits and certain things they want to change. Some of them know exactly what they want to do and they're very clear, they just need guidance what to do and we do it. But others are a bit unsure and a bit stuck. They know there's something not working in their life. They know they do certain things, but they don't know why. No matter how much they try and figure it out, they can't. It's a very simple technique. If someone was to ask you, okay, why is that? And see what you come up with. Ask yourself, okay, I'm doing these habits. I've done this for a certain period of time. Why do I want to do it? What do I get from it? See what your mind answers. And then every time your mind comes up with an answer, keep asking, why is that? Why is that? And you might say, oh, I feel I need to do it because of this. Because maybe it gives me some kind of pleasure when I didn't think I had any when I was younger. Or maybe I get some attention this way because I didn't have attention when I was younger. Or it makes me feel good enough. It's the only way for me to feel satisfied. because maybe I don't feel like I'm good enough to be, getting any satisfaction from someone else. If every time you have an answer, keep asking why is that. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is for any kind of habits that we are finding it difficult to break, we need to ask ourselves first the reason why we believe on some level it still serves us. Because if we believe on some level it still serves us, it's going to be very difficult to break a habit no matter what it is. If we have a habit that has obvious negative consequences and we can see that, but if part of us in the subconscious mind, which is much more powerful than the conscious mind, still believes that there's a purpose and a benefit to it, we will find it very hard to let it go. Even if we can on some level see, oh, this isn't benefiting me because I'm feeling this or I'm feeling that. But if there's a belief somewhere linked to some kind of trauma that makes you think and feel that you're getting some benefit from it, you will find it very hard to let go, because that belief is rooted in the subconscious, and the subconscious mind is so many times more powerful than the conscious mind. So it's important to acknowledge and understand the root of that habit by asking yourself, why do you feel that you need to do this? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Sometimes the answers might seem a bit random, but the more you push and push and push, you will begin to think things differently, and your answers will begin to be not what you expect. Now, I'm going to help with the answer for this, because in all of my coaching that I've done with clients on this exercise, and with all the studies that I've done in my own practice, no matter what habits or thoughts we may be all, being played with, and they will all be very various, it will all come down to one root cause of not feeling good enough. There is going to be the reason of not feeling good enough or lacking in something. And so taking on a certain habit, good or bad, is fulfilling an emptiness in some level. So how to change the habit, no matter what it is to ask yourself, first of all, take the pressure off yourself by saying, okay, I'm aware I want to change it. That's good, because you're not trapped in it then. You have a choice. Ask yourself, what is it that makes me want to keep doing this? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? And then when you do have an idea what it is, then you can take the approach to release that. If it's something where you don't feel good enough, then you know, okay, I need to start loving myself more, start feeling good enough. And then trying to, when those urges come in to do those habits, catch yourself and be aware, okay, I'm getting this feeling. Acknowledge it, don't suppress it. If I'm getting an urge to do something, or a certain intrusive thought comes in again, just catch it and be like, okay, I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this thought. I'm aware of this feeling. I have a choice. I can either go and do it, or I don't. I now know that by me wanting to do it is because the root cause is I've not felt good enough, but I know I am good enough. And I also now know that the only reason why I'm getting this urge to do it is because my brain and my body has been trained over years and years at times, or over several repetitions of carrying out that habit. So another answer to how you can change it, it's repetition. Each time it comes up, just don't do it. Try and distract yourself and break away those addictive feelings. There's several different techniques that you can do to help with that, but one of them would be repetition. So naturally, time will help as well, by naturally catching yourself each time that those thoughts and urges come up and stepping away from that. And eventually, we need to train. It's the same I spoke earlier about. We get addicted to the hormones of stress. Stress hormones can be very addictive, because our body becomes used to the cortisol, the adrenaline. If there's nothing to worry about, our minds will then find something to worry about, or worry because there's nothing to worry about. It's retraining our mind and our body chemically as well, not just the habits. It's training ourselves chemically, which takes some time. So I do hope that that's helped. And with that, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This originally was the meditation workshop for beginners. I do hope it was very helpful. This replay will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. All the replays from all the workshops are going to be on there. I do well, it's going to be 4 workshops a week. The next workshop will be on Monday. That will be a Q&A session. So it will be 7 p.m. UK time, which I believe is 2 p.m. Eastern Central Time and 11:30 p.m. Indian time. But on Instagram, I will post on my story, and on YouTube, I will post in my community tabs as well updates about when the session is going to go live. If anyone is interested again in working on me on a one-to-one basis with some coaching, the link is in my Instagram bio, where you can book a free 20-minute discovery call. You just select the date and time appropriate for you, and we can discuss the issues that you feel would like to work on. I do have some special offers on both of my coaching programs at the moment, so if you feel that it resonates, we can work together. And also on the Instagram side, I have been taking video requests, as I said, for my YouTube channel. I've had lots of requests to do more YouTube videos. I'm working through them. I've uploaded one today, one secret key ingredient to become a manifesting master, to how you can master law of assumption. That has been uploaded. Please do check that out. And if anyone is wanting to have any more suggested topics or what videos you'd like me to make, please do let me know. I'm making a point of always mentioning this because I've had so many requests for videos for a long time, and Instagram's just not sending them out to people. So if you've sent me a video request, I am working through them and I am doing them. So I'm trying to let everyone know that I'm fulfilling their requests. But thank you everyone, and thank you everyone for tuning in on YouTube. I hope this was very helpful, especially if you were new to these workshops. So yes, I will let everyone know when the next workshop is going to happen. So for now, wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a lovely, wonderful morning, afternoon and evening, and I'll see you next time. Oh, Katie, I just see your comment. It was very helpful. Thank you very, very much. You're most welcome. So take care everyone, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.